It certainly is. Australian companies with business interests in 2 Israeli departments have been instructed to consider seeking legal advice on whether they're at risk of facing multi-million-dollar fines enforced for breaches of sanctions against the 2 Israeli government ministers responsible for those departments. Michael, I'm particularly interested in your view on this because you, along with the late Kimberley Kitchen, were the architect of the sanctions, or the laws that allow the sanctions that Penny Wong has instituted. But you've come out pretty strongly today saying this is not the way those laws were designed to be used. Help me understand what's going on here and your objection.
The laws were designed to give leverage to people with human rights or corruption problems in autocracies where they don't have the rule of law or elections like they do in Israel or France or Canada or even Indonesia. So this is a misuse and an interference in another country's elections. Loudmouths like Smotrich and Ben-Gvir should be dealt with by Israelis in the Israeli courts, in the Knesset, and in the forthcoming elections, where I suspect their support is going to diminish. But you just have to extrapolate it, James, to Indonesia or France. Imagine Mrs. Le Pen is elected and we put a travel ban on her because of her critical views on immigration, or we don't like some of the human rights abuses in Indonesia, so we put a ban on Prabowo. No, this is not the way it was meant to be done. And Kimber's view was that it should be done to affect autocracies where people don't have the same rights that we do have here in Australia.
I want to go back to the US for a moment. We witnessed the bromance between Elon Musk and the president implode last week, with both men having a crack at each other publicly. But now Musk has backtracked, saying he went too far with some of his tweets. Kosher, the real story here, though, that I want to hear about is the role of the Vice President, J.D. Vance, who reportedly played a pivotal role in brokering peace. He's positioned himself as both an attack dog for the White House, but also a bit of a problem solver. How influential is Vance shaping up to be, not just as Trump's running mate, but potentially as his ideological heir?
All reports seem to be that he is the rising star in the party, certainly the ideological heir in terms of MAGA and populism. His roots are deep from there. Everybody knows his story, where he's come out of the working class of Appalachia and had an amazing personal story. So his bona fides are strong there. He also has ties to Silicon Valley. He worked there for a little bit. He can do the tech speak with the tech right, as well as other constituencies. That said, as we all know, even a week is a lifetime in politics, let alone 3+ years. So the Republican bench is deep. He will face other challengers in the primary, I'm sure, but at this point in time, his stock is certainly rising.
All right, I want to finish with some sad news. The death of Beach Boys frontman Brian Wilson. He led arguably one of the greatest bands in the world, certainly was known for creating one of the best albums ever with Pet Sounds. Here's a little taste of my favourite Beach Boys tune. All right, we've got 30 seconds to get your favourite Beach Boys song. Michael, I'll start with you. What is it?
Surfing USA and Barbara Ann. They're the two. I can still sing Barbara Ann. I'm not sure about
Please don't, Michael. Kosher, very quickly, what's your favourite?
Surfing USA. Michael took the words out of my mouth. We're aligned.
Very good. Kosher, Michael, thank you for joining me tonight.